Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Cup of Joe Show. I'm Joe. That's Jeremy. Spoiler alert! Jeez, no, just kidding.
That was right-handed.
Yeah. We just actually got out of Southpaw. Well, depending on when I upload this, I don't know. But as of now, we just got out of Southpaw. So we're going to review that to start things off. To get my... You know what? I want you to start. Do you want to start?
Sure.
Alright. Go for it.
I felt like this movie was 3 hours long. It apparently was only 2. I really thought we were going to get out of the theater at least like 1:30, but then I checked my phone and it was like 1. This movie really dragged to me. It felt like it was just... You know, the thing is, you know, sports movies have a lot of cliches and things that have been done before, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, sometimes movies can transcend those or use those well. You know, look at Warrior from a couple years ago. That went through a lot of the cliches, but it's a damn good movie. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't feel like Southpaw did that, really. I felt just like the pacing was off. I mean, the acting was good for the most part. Jake Gyllenhaal is, you know, I still think an underrated actor. And you could tell that he put his all into the role. You know, he bulked up, he was, you know, toned and everything, so you could tell that he was into the role. But other than that, I don't know, I wasn't really impressed by anything. It just felt like the movie plodded along, didn't even really know where the movie itself was going, and those are my opening thoughts.
Yeah, I guess to build off that, there's a few things I could say. I may ramble about this, but I really liked this movie a lot better when it was called Rocky III and it starred Sylvester Stallone. This is honestly pretty much the same film, interestingly enough.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Except here, and now here's the issue. Imagine watching that film without having 2 films in front of it to build Rocky's character. You wouldn't like Rocky through most of the film. Henceforth, you don't like your main character. And this is just me. Maybe you're different. I don't know. I didn't connect with or like Jake Gyllenhaal for maybe an hour, 15 minutes of this. More than half of this film, I really didn't even care for this guy. The reason that Rocky III worked is because you know who Rocky is, and you've liked him, and he goes through some character issues in the 3rd film, but you're still with him, and you want him to succeed because you know what he was, you know what he can be, and ultimately it works because you like him. You don't like... I didn't connect with Jake Gyllenhaal at all, and it's just I didn't get it. You're so right about the pacing. I swear to God, the daughter loves him and hates him whenever the movie wants her to.
I mean, understandably, kids are fickle and everything,
yes.
But come on.
There's literally a scene where it goes to immense joy to literally slapping him in the face and saying, "I hate you, and I wish you died instead of Mom."
Literally slapping him in the face.
Yes, literally slapping him in the face and literally saying, "I wish you died instead of Mom." And that's not a spoiler because they literally put that in the trailer. But, oh gosh, I mean, this movie, it really is a mess. I don't want to say it's all bad, but I like you said, Jake Gyllenhaal, he gave it his all. He really did. I actually thought Forrest Whitaker was actually really good in this movie. But
even if it was hard to understand what he was saying in a couple of scenes.
That's true, yes. But again, he wasn't really developed that well.
Mm-hmm.
He was okay, but I really ended up liking their relationship. But I really thought I would have liked it better, and I would have liked the movie better if there was a scene where Jake Gyllenhaal raced Forrest Whitaker along the beach, and they just hugged
in short shorts.
Yes, exactly. Henceforth, this movie is Rocky III. It's it's difficult because I really like Antoine Fuqua. I really like Training Day. I really like The Equalizer. I actually think The Equalizer is a very good film. Rightfully so, I believe, getting a sequel. But the thing is, like, The Equalizer was very cliched, but it worked because it kind of embraced the clichédness of it. I felt like this movie tried to be something more than cliched, but then fell back on cliches. So, hence your point about the pacing, it was just off. If it just like went straight up, like, cliched, it actually would have been a better film because I think you would have liked Jake Gyllenhaal more. Why The Equalizer worked before is because you liked Denzel Washington. You didn't even get to learn much about him, but he walks into the film and he gets a relationship with Chloe Grace Moretz. You've seen the movie, and he starts to develop a relationship with this girl. Obviously, you didn't have to explain his loss. He's had loss, and it's interesting to see that like Fuqua kind of went away after successfully like making a film like The Equalizer. So, I guess that's my thought. Like, I'm gonna send it back to you for a minute before I get into the positives. I mean, do you have anything to kind of add to that, or anything to what I said?
I had a thought, but then I totally lost it. So I just go right ahead.
Okay, all right. The positives of this film, I actually enjoyed the end boxing scene, but again, I thought it would have had more weight had you really, really cared for Gyllenhaal throughout the film. You started to care for him at the end of the film. But again, I think it was nice. I thought the training montage was good. I thought that the first time that Forrest Whitaker and him started to train, where it was just like it was just the two of them in the gym, and it was kind of quiet. I don't even think they had music, or maybe they had like a slight music. They had
Chord?
slight music, yeah, maybe like a chord. But yeah, it was. I thought that was a great sequence where Forrest Whitaker was teaching him things. I think the Eminem song is actually. I was about to say it. I thought it was actually phenomenal, and the song is probably called Phenomenal because people know if you've seen the trailer for this film. My God, I don't know how he puts some of the words he puts together. He's a phenomenal rapper, but I guess those are really the positives, and I think there is a very solid movie here. I really do, but I think whether it was Fuqua or whoever, they dropped the ball.
The solid movie, Hiding Within Southpaw, was made in 1982.
That's true.
So.
It's a fact. Moral of the story: just go watch Rocky 3. Go watch the Rocky.
You'll have a way better time.
You will. You will. Absolutely. I totally agree. Now we're going to move on to Jeremy. Jeremy took the bullet for both of us and saw Trainwreck, so he's going to, talk about that.
Okay, well, in short, comedies are aiming to make you laugh. They're supposed to be funny, and in that regard, I feel like Trainwreck fell short. So if a comedy falls short of that, then it kind of just fails as a film. Not to say that Trainwreck doesn't have its moments, it certainly does, but, there was never a moment where I was, like, really, really, like, side-stitching, laughing, or whatever that expression is. I was not in stitches. There we go.
ROFL. You were not ROFL,
No.
LMAO. None of those.
Neither of those.
Not even an LOL.
I had some good chuckles and everything, but never... And it didn't seem like... there was a decent crowd when they went to see it in the theater, and honestly, throughout most of the movie, it seemed like the crowd was pretty quiet, too. Like, a lot of the jokes fell flat. I think Amy Schumer has talent, but, her character wasn't terribly likable throughout the film. Again, kind of like Southpaw, she wasn't likable until, like, the, at least the second, if not last third of the movie and everything, and that's kind of hard to get behind your main character when you don't like them. So, it's not even like she was, in some movies, like, for instance, Will Ferrell, like, plays an asshole, but he's still funny and charismatic, at least, and I don't know, I just don't think Amy Schumer pulled that off. But anyway, there are some funny moments in the film. John Cena is actually one of the funniest parts of the film. LeBron James, actually, I have to admit, does a good job. He has some funny parts. Daniel Radcliffe has a really funny cameo. Spoiler warning. But as a whole, I just feel like, and again, much like Trainwreck, the movie suffered from some pacing issues, and like pretty much all Judd Apatow movies, it's at least 15 minutes, if not a full half hour too long. It drags on toward the end there. So I would say, I don't know. I don't think I can recommend it.
I got you. Very well done. I have no thoughts because I didn't see it. But I hate LeBron James. Anyway, the box office. Let's talk about it.
Yes. Alright, starting as always, as we do with number 5. That was Jurassic World. That was down 37% to 11.5 million, and a total of 611.2. I did not misspeak. This movie is over $600 million, which is absolute insanity. It's only about 10 million-ish away from surpassing the Avengers and becoming the third highest grossing movie of all time. It's also got a shot at taking out Titanic. I don't know if it'll quite get there, but it'll be close. So it's just an absolute monstrosity, basically. Number 4 was Inside Out. That fell 35% to 11.5 million, total of 306.3. Well, I'm happy to see Inside Out got over the 300 million barrier. It's been having pretty decent legs, especially considering the competition from Minions. And so Inside Out could probably finish around, 330, 340, which is like Finding Nemo range. So that's quite the gross. Yeah. Number 3 was Trainwreck. And that opened to 30.1 million. That's a pretty solid opening. It's not, fantastic or anything, but then again, it's hard to open R-rated comedies, to good numbers at all, especially, it's not a sequel or anything. So, I don't know, if my movie-going experience was any indication, in terms of myself and the audience, I don't know if the word of mouth on Trainwreck is going to be that good, and if it's going to develop any kind of legs. So, as of now, I would say I don't like its chances of getting to 100 million, but it's possible. Number 2 was Minions. That fell 47% to 49.3 million, total of 215.8. That's a fairly steep drop for a kids movie in its second weekend, and I would just like to note that Inside Out, despite opening to a lot less than Minions, Inside Out's second weekend was actually better than Minions' second weekend. So, clear what movie people like better, because Inside Out is better.
Says the person who didn't see Minions.
Isn't it better?
Yes.
There you go. Anyway, yeah, Minions is still doing really well for itself. It should definitely get over 300 million. I think Inside Out is actually going to beat it domestically, but worldwide, Minions should win hands down. Our number 1 picture was Ant-Man, and that opened to 57.2 million. Now, I understand that, based on the Marvel standards or whatever, that might seem like a disappointing opening, but at the same time, it's Ant-Man, so he's not exactly a popular superhero. It's kind of a tough sell. A lot of people didn't think Paul Rudd could pull it off and everything. So, all things considered, I think that's a solid opening. It's a little bit below the openings of the first Thor and the first Captain America. It's slightly above the Incredible Hulk, which, yes, is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, despite the fact that people tend to forget about it all the time, including some box office websites, claiming that Ant-Man had the lowest Marvel Cinematic Universe opening. It exists. Anyway, so I think Ant-Man is fairly well liked. I think it should have, decent late summer legs, could probably make its way to 150 or so, which is a fine number. It'll make like 400, 450, worldwide, which is not bad for a hero like Ant-Man.
Yeah, I would like to see Ant-Man make a good chunk of money because it really was very good. And what we learned from the box office is that Jeremy hates the Minions. Boo this man! Comments. Let's get it in the comments.
I don't hate them. I just don't. I just
Jeremy
think that,
hates
I
the
just
Minions.
think that Inside Out is a better film, despite not having seen Minions. And
Boo this comments. Let's get hate comments down there for Jeremy Evans, even though Inside Out is a better movie than Minions. A much better film, actually. Anyway, jeez. And I'm sure that James Cameron is getting on stopping production of all the Avatar films, and he's getting on Titanic 2. Actually, he has to go to 3 because Titanic 2 exists. So, Titanic 3 is coming for you, Jurassic World, if you pass Titanic, alright? That's it.
you should just make the Lusitania.
Yes, there you go. There it is. Sequel. Titanic sequel, The Lusitania. Rest in peace, James Horner. All right. So now we had 3 movies come out this weekend. We obviously saw one of them, so we won't have to talk about that. But the other 2, kind of interesting. Well, could be. All right, one of them is awful, probably. Pixels, starring Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Peter Dinklage, Josh Gad, Michelle Monaghan. That's probably the most cast we've ever given to anybody about any movie. So, you've heard it here first. Pixels, more than it deserves. Oh, also, Pac-Man's in it. Cubert.
Donkey Kong.
Yep.
Space Invaders.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, I never had faith in this movie, and I haven't seen it, but it's getting terrible reviews. A lot of people I respect online, Chris Stuckman gave it an F. I mean, that's bad. Jeremy Johns gave it T-minus 1 day. Okay, he has one level he could go, one level down for the... It could have been dog shit, but it's not. It's apparently T-minus 1 day. Watch Jeremy Johns. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I honestly think this movie had potential, but you put Adam Sandler or Kevin James, I'm sure it's just an Adam Sandler or Kevin James film, and it's really disappointing where these people's careers have actually gone. I still love Happy Gilmore. Love it. But that's not Adam Sandler anymore. So
I don't know how much of how the level to which I enjoy Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison. I don't know if that's just nostalgia, from like something I grew up with, or if those movies actually are better than what he does these days. Now I think they're better. But anyway, yeah, I think there's a good movie somewhere in the concept of Pixels, but it's as evidenced by the reviews, just really, really, really poorly executed, which is a shame because I really liked the idea. I like video games. I like video game culture. I like paying homage to the old '80s video games and everything. But what are you gonna do? I say 30 million opening.
Damn alligator bit my hand off! See, you're laughing. It's still hilarious. Timeless film. Happy Gilmore. Watch that instead of the crap that he's in now. The other film is Paper Towns, and I'm going to go on record by saying that I actually think this is going to be a good film. I don't think it's typical. I think The Fault in Our Stars, I've never seen it, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's from the same person, same author, I think.
John Green, yeah.
There you go. And I just think this has merit. There's something more to it. At least that's what the trailer's showing me, and that's why I actually think it's going to be a good film.
I've actually never seen the trailer. I've just seen the poster. I have no idea what this movie is about. I just know it's by the guy who did The Fault in Our Stars, so I haven't really done my research here, and I apologize for that, so I can't speak to how interesting it looks or not. But The Fault in Our Stars exploded at the box office. I don't think Paper Towns will. Maybe 20 to 25 million.
Cara Delevingne's beautiful.
She is.
That's all you need. Anyway, That's all we have this week. So we'll see you next week for another great episode. Hate comments. Hate comments.